Chinese government, if they want to enhance the potential growth, they really need to work on productivity, and that means is they really need to the technology and innovations.
Let's start discussing about the recent positive signal from PBOC, the People's Bank of China, NDRC, and also our Premier Li Qiang, toward those mega Chinese internet stocks, such as Alibaba, Meituan. Do you think this positive signal to this mega stock is substantiable?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think the whole strategy from the Chinese authority has already changed back in December last year at the Central Economic Work Conference of the Chinese Communist Party, and he clearly communicated at that time that he's going to give more support to the private sector and stop using the wording like disorderly expansion of capital. Those rather harsh wordings already dropped, and also specifically mentioned to support the platform company. And a platform company in the wording, that means it's those internet company. So I mean, the recent supportive languages and actions are actually just a continuation of this trend started a few months ago. And given, I think, in the Chinese authorities' drive for technology self-reliance, and also in their drive to enhance productivity, and I think they need some contribution also from this mega cap internet company to help them to implement this kind of industry policy to develop the economy, specifically the sectors and the technology they desire.
Okay, but also there is a thinking that because due to as we all pay attention to the Chinese economic data, so would that be a short term just improve to boost up the confidence? So because of the poor economic data from China and the stock market performance, or later on, if the economic data improve and stock market rebound, would that be changing the attitude toward these mega stocks again?
I think this time the strategic objective is for longer term, and this is more about national security, and both in terms of the technology security and also financial security, but also that is also about to raise the potential growth rate in China. It's not just to say, okay, if GDP growth bounds for 1 or 2 quarters, and it's due to using some monetary policy to boost up the economy and so on. No, I think because China's trend growth has decelerated to around 6% even before the pandemic. So it's no longer high single digit, not to mention double-digit growth. And so the growth potential has come down. And the total factor productivity, the contribution from total factor productivity has also declined to 2.5%. So what it means is the productivity growth is only giving contribution to growth for about 2.5%. If you want to grow more, you need to actually have more resources. You need more labor, you need more energy, you need a lot more resources, than which China, population has peaked and so on. So we are not going to go into that detail. But so that means the potential growth. Chinese government, if they want to enhance the potential growth, they really need to work on productivity, and that means they really need to the technology and innovations, and they need to make focus. I mean, the central SOE, they are very good at certain sectors, and they are good at those like this traditional infrastructure. And so last time back in 2008 to 2010, when the government did a lot of stimulus, they rely on the local government as well as the central SOE. But this time around, I think since the focus is a lot more on technology, and that is the mega cap internet company, they do have some role to play, and that's longer term role. I mean, not just for 1 or 2 quarters. For example, even though those AI and so on, I mean none of them actually have a lot in role yet. I mean in the generative AI, I mean they are very good in the those is surveillance and oriented, and many AI, but not really on the generative AI. But they are investing on that. But also, when you try to develop that, you need a lot of computing power. For computing power, I think you need, Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, they have invested so much in cloud computing and computing power in the past, so they have the infrastructure as a platform to support other company to work on the development of generative AI. The road is very bumpy and it's not easy. It's uphill road, but I think the central government need them to be part of it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we all know that besides this a positive signal, there is going to be a Politburo meeting by the end of this month. And there is an expectation there is going to be a stimulus package coming out from this meeting. And what do you think about these expectations?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of expectation. Now they'll be lower, but this have been around for 1 or 2 months. People are hoping that versus the Politburo, the Chinese Communist Party, the Politburo have this type of. They every 6 months they have a meeting that specifically focusing on reviewing the economic development strategies and also the performance of the economy as well. And usually it's in end of July and the end of December. So we will have one coming up in end of July, end of this month. A lot of expectation there, but as we discussed, the focus is really in a rather longer term GDP growth potential. It's not just managing aggregate demand. For the latest data, we had the first half, the Chinese economy grew at 5.5% for the first 6 months year on year. As we discussed, the trend growth now is only down to around 6% in China. So there's not much they can do to push it further up a lot. And if they push, they can push it up for higher for 1 or 2 quarters, but that's not sustainable. You need productivity growth, you need trend growth potential to be higher. For that reason, we don't expect the Politburo to do much in they will fall short of the expectation of very massive package. And also one other thing you have to remember, the Chinese authority has started a campaign or initiative to deleverage the financial system and the whole economy starting back in 2016. First is the shadow banking system. Second is on the property sector, and then also on the local government indebtedness, especially those off-balance sheet debt of the local government, because one of the reasons they had all those debts is because of the stimulus package back in 2008 to 2010, and they borrowed a lot, and because it's the local government, out of the 4 trillion at that time, 3 trillion coming from the local government. And so they borrow a lot. So in order to avoid any systemic risk to the financial system, in order to complete this initiative to deleverage the economy, to avoid this kind of risk from becoming not manageable, especially you need to think about that the current leadership, and they have to face certain half of. We may expect the current leader to stay for another 10 years, but from 4 to 5 years from now, you still have another meeting and to decide, and then theoretically, that might still be a change. So for the current leadership, they have to focus on maintaining stability in 4 to 5 years' time. It's not just 1 or 2 quarter economic growth. So with that, we don't think the Chinese government will launch a very large package, but we'll be focusing on industrial policy and making sure that that those sectors and technology-related sectors doing well, getting the support from both the central bank, getting the support from other departments, and then of course is the central SOE and the other SOE will be part of it, and the internet company of course will be doing part of the contribution.
Okay, so now we understand about the mega cap stock, and also the Chinese government stance. Let's talk about, we can't avoid talking about Chinese Yuan when we invest in China, right? So what do you think about the trend for the Yuan, because it has been depreciated quite a lot this year?
Yeah, Yes, no, because it's they depreciated against the dollar.
Oh yeah, dollar.
But they have
Yeah.
appreciated against the yen.
That's true. Yeah.
The latest development. So I think yes. I mean, the Chinese government. I think the PBOC is okay to see yuan to depreciate gradually, but they don't like to see volatility. So if we move too fast, too violent, they will do something. But if they are just gradually depreciating, especially against the yen, or Korean Yuan and other, the competitors and trade partners, and I think they're happy to see that. And because the dollar has now turned a little bit weaker, and so it's probably is the trade in FX. If you want to ask me, and probably would be the it's a bearish bet on the yuan and the renminbi against yen, maybe better than against the dollar.
Okay. Then it comes to the end of our episode. So if you're interested in yen or CNH and also the Chinese stock, you can check out on our Saxo Trader. We have a basket of stocks in China-related stocks and also ETF as well. So thank you very much for your time, and thanks, Redmond, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and looking forward to see you guys again. See you.
Bye-bye.